morning and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast now for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we all. I'm not important, just a question. My name is Rolf Atlanta, Georgia, but I got my brother from another mother, but we got same father. Good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
Oh boy, another beautiful and blessed day.
Absolutely. And I see people are already starting to come in, so I'm definitely high and porcupine proud to have each and every one of you with us this morning. Good to have. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about this morning. After they finally, I think they got a Speaker of the House.
Oh, did that finally go through?
Yeah, I think finally got Speaker of the House out after 150 tries. It seems like it certainly wasn't that many,
Was
but
it
it was
McCarthy
a lot.
or Democrat?
Yes, yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, McCarthy. I think that's who they got, man. So it took a. I'm trying to figure out what all he sold away. But you see this here, man? Can you see that?
Nice. You got to make a
Yeah,
bigger
that's
one for me though. You got
yeah.
to make like
We
a
got
32 ounce for me.
no, we got our new cups, man. We got our new cups and people has been really loving them, man. So yeah, it's a good cup. Let me see. Tucson say back to work.
Oh,
Yeah,
sounds about
Tucson is
right.
back on the job, back on the job. Hey, I understand, brother. I definitely understand. So if you get an opportunity, Tucson, call on in, man. You know the number 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Badge, I'm gonna jump right into a topic with you, man. And we're gonna talk about this thing this morning. Do you think people, individuals across the board, regardless of who they are, what they look like, do you think people worry too much?
Ooh, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
With I feel it's very dependent. Everything boils down to situations. Depending on
Mm-hmm.
where you live, where you're at, money, how the different kinds of struggle, mindset. Um, I think there are those that some will worry about their environment. Some, are carefree or do their best to just stay in that carefree mindset. And it's just worry can cause so many health problems. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same
It can, and
time,
it does.
it's the the way a lot of things have become. It's been kind of spooky. It just, I don't know another way to say that.
Spooky. Okay, we're gonna say spooky. All right, there you go. But I do think that people tend to worry a little too much, and everyone listening to us this morning, uh, variation is something because that can cause stress. It can cause. But do you think? And the number is 524-3521, 508-924-3521. Do you think people worry too much? Give us a call and tell us what you think about that. I tend to think they do, Badger. I think people worry much. And one of the topics we're going to talk about today is to kick us off. God doesn't sleep. I'm going to bed.
Ooh.
God, God, yeah, God doesn't sleep, so I'm going to bed. And so, and people will say, well, how it's easier said than done, and it could very well be easier said than done for some people. If we say God, the Creator, Allah, Buddha, say that we trust Him, we have to trust that we have.
Yeah,
And so
and that can be very hard.
is why would we? It can, and it's very hard to take your hand. We say we trust Him, Oh, I trust God with everything in me. But trust the vehicle, and you to get in either in the passenger seat, back seat, or trunk, or wherever else, on the hood, or wherever else you have. You want to be in control, but yet and still you trust him. I have an issue with people. I trust him, but I have to. If you trust him. But go ahead, Badger.
Man, that worry can definitely get worrying can definitely cause issues with that. Because
Yeah.
I mean, even I do my best to trust as much as possible. Because
Mm-hmm.
even to be able to walk the next day is a lesson to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be trust, or at least in my life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard when you have to, to survive in our economy. You almost you have to have money, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's that fine line of greed. And if you want to
But
be
see,
really comfortable, time. We lose so much time having to do things that ain't always healthy for us.
mm-hmm. But Badger, if we say, and even with time and the other, if we say we trust him, how could we say we trust him, but yet and still we want?
Well, that's one of my favorite things. I'll tell people in a heartbeat, control is an illusion. And people argue about it all the time with me.
Line back up and said they're saying that my phone
Good.
line.
Yeah, you're stuttering a little bit. Oh.
Well, I need to redo.
Yeah, you're coming in and out, Raheem. Oh, looks like he's having to reset his stuff real quick. What learning to trust in God, and or my terminology, creator, the source of it all.
Uh-huh.
It's very it's literally just learning to almost like walk off a cliff. And
Mm.
control is the illusion of control is
Participant in the conference.
is one of those things that I've
Yes, that's me.
seen so many people do.
Mm.
And I mean that in the instance of
Hold on,
like
Badger. I'm
a
trying to get this.
vehicle. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Like a vehicle, for instance. You
Mm-hmm.
can drive that car every single day. All of a sudden, you got a flat. All of a sudden, you need to replace that battery. Or you're at home, everything's going honky dory. You're in bed. All of a sudden, lightning hits the ground and fries your electronics.
Mm.
It's just one of those things that we're shown all the time that every moment we're given is a gift,
Absolutely.
and we have a choice in life of what we do with each moment.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that we are in control, if looking at it at base value, I can make a choice to not go into certain areas if I know that area is dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in that instance, you could say that I'm in control of that, or I'm in control of my
How,
thoughts.
how did you know not to go into to those areas? There's a voice that speaks to you. Now, yes, you have a choice whether you act on it or not. But I think that God speaks to us in all kind of different ways. Man, we choose to listen, and sometimes we don't. And the times where we elect not to listen, that's when we put ourselves in certain situations, certain vulnerable situations, because listen to quote unquote that voice.
Yeah, and I feel that happens a lot. That's like, there's a lot of things I feel that just isn't taught nowhere close like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what spirit is, what are gifts, what
Mm-hmm.
are, gifts don't have to just be some sports thing. I mean, gift of
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, gift of speaking, gift of engineering, gift of uh, being a leader or a preacher, or like a gift can be multiple different things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so to me, it's just one of those things of what is it, it's a gift.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
And
It is. And
all of our experiences in life are that, no matter how heinous it was. And that was so hard for me to realize.
mm-hmm.
And it's
508. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and it was so hard for me to understand that within this life, everything that we were given can be taken away just as fast.
Mm-hmm. God given, the God can take it away. So who are we to be angry if He decided to take it away? We were not angry when He gave it to us. Because Sally, how I doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good to have you, sis. Good to, Sandra, I'm asking a question. You think as a whole, do you think people worry too much?
Yes, I do. It and people worry for different reasons, and I know that spiritually, we don't worry or whatever. And I've said to people, if you're gonna trust God, don't worry. But I know I've done it, and I've had to
Mm-hmm.
I've had to really evaluate. Sometimes you got to evaluate what you say, to people. And
Mm-hmm.
and I've had to do that because it's certain situations where, even if you trust God, say with all your heart, with all your being, there are some things that shake you
Yeah. Yeah.
and will cause you to I'm serious. I mean, say
Mm-hmm.
it's the death of your mama or the death of your child, or you lose everything all of a sudden. And I mean, it's good to say, well, you just trust God. And I've done that, but I'm telling you, even though I love God and I know He's going to work it out, there's that humanistic side of me. Even though the Bible says walk in the Spirit, and you won't fulfill the lust of the flesh, which worry is a part of the lust, well, flesh thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it's I just all I as much as I love God, there are certain situations and times in my life where I've been like, you got this, but hold of it,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it's individual. individualistic. It's individualistic.
And see, and that's the thing right there that we're talking about this morning. God does. The topic is God doesn't sleep, so I'm going to bed. And thing is, and you said it right there. A lot of times people say that they trust God, they trust God, they trust Him with everything, but yet and still they don't want to relinquish that power. They don't want to lay down and just go to sometimes just rest and go to sleep. But they don't. They say they trust God, but they can't power. They have to be in control. Because what do you say?
To be in don't want in control, but the I'll say the fear of whatever is happening at that time. I mean, this is an example. You know, over the weekend, you know, I was having a really rough time physically, and I couldn't sleep. It's like Saturday up.
Wow.
I didn't want to take because I fight. I tell you this all the time. I fight taking pain medications because it made me so bad. You know, it's like I can't function. So I was living all night long, and I was like, God bless you. I want to rest. So I really want to just close my eyes. I want to go to sleep. You know, and pain is, you know, and it wasn't God. You know what I'm saying? The thought of what I was going through. I mean, literally, I'm talking about when the sun came up, staring at the walls, looking at the TV. So I don't think it's so much that people don't trust God. I think it's according to the situation.
That's good. That's good.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good. No,
I don't know.
No, it does. And I agree with you. Well, it depends on the situation. But my question is, and I love how you handled it. But my question, and we got a couple other people on the phone. I'm going to go to them as well. But my question is, people say, and I've heard so many people say that they trust God. I trust God. I trust God. I trust Him with everything that I got. But when those situation issues come up, they feel as though they have to have a hand in it. If I say okay, I'm running the business. I say, well, look, Cassandra's gonna be over my marketing. I trust her to handle my marketing. I don't have any business come there and trying to over the marketing department because you got it. We don't do that same thing a lot of when it comes to God, do Cassandra?
I agree, and once again, I'm going to go back to I'm not our spiritual side, but that human of us. I'm not there yet. I can admit to people I never act like I got all the answers or I got it all together.
Yeah,
I don't. And sometimes my flesh, my man side. When I say my man side, my human side.
Yes.
Gets the best of me, and I'm willing to admit that I'm still struggling in that area.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I here trying to enjoy a beautiful new day, but feeling like a fool because the temperature dropped.
It done dropped on you. Oh, you're halfway?
Oh man, it dropped like 3 degrees on me, man. It started out in the 40s, now it's 39, man. I ain't got no gloves on, man.
There you go. There you go. Don't let that cold get you, brother. Don't let that cold get you. Rico, let me ask you the question, man. Do people as a whole across the board?
Man, that's a deep question, man. You can look at that as a negative, you know. sometimes superficial things. You know, small things that really will let that happen. But then there are some important things that we don't give attention as we should, like the word. But now, what's the difference between concern and?
I think
I
there's
don't think there's too much.
I think there's
What
a
do
slight.
you think?
I think there's slight differences. Concern and you say concern.
Right. You know, because you asked if we worried.
I think
Something you concerning yourself with.
yeah, I think worrying is my now listen to this. My Steelers gonna win the game, but I could be wrong on this, but that's my opinion on it. Cassandra, what do you say?
It really, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at the definition for concern, being worried or anxious is a part of that. So it's really, I don't know, Rico, did you find a real difference in it? Because I don't.
That's my point. I don't find a difference in them. I don't find a difference in them at all. And I think as humans, as men, we should always have some type of concern. Always have some type of concern. But the thing is what are you concerned about? See, you might not need to be as worried or concerned about that Steelers win as much as you do as your child or your grandchild's safety.
Exactly.
See, you can have a lot of worry and concern. So I think that if they're not the same, they first cousins. But see, I think about ability. See, when we start talking about being concerned or worried about superficial things or things that are important, you know, we should all be worried about sex trafficking because it could be going on right under our noses. We should all be concerned about child abuse because it could be going on these children. You know, so many times when situations, we didn't have a clue. You know, that time that man had them women kidnapped next door. And she ran out and grabbed that black man. That black man said, I never run up to a black man.
Yeah.
Because some people will show concern or they don't worry about nobody but themselves. See, that's imagine if, you know, you didn't put your nose in business or you just made the business that paid you. Be a lot of more messed up children around here. Wouldn't be no need in worrying. Your nanny watching your children while you're gone. You know, so I don't think we worry. Sometimes we worry about the wrong things. Crimson Tide, you know, to the point where some people actually get violent at those times. You know, I know a woman killed another woman down there because I lost 1 year.
Wow.
Learn too much into that iron bowl. Right? See, I think about a. See, when it's something, I put it this way: if something has the ability to impact me, or I have the ability to something else for the good, it from going in a bad direction, then yes, I need to be concerned about that. But if I have no to impact it, then I may be worried because it's my child, it's my family member. That ain't nothing I could do but pray. Sometimes when it got to do with a disease or a health scare. But if you impact on it, or it have an impact on you, the ability to, then yes, you should be concerned and worried about it. And it's up to you to determine how small or how big it is. But that's where priorities, purpose, and principle come in.
Good deal. Good deal.
You know, so yeah, I really I do think that sometimes we worry too much on things.
Mm-hmm. And our topic today, one of our topics is God doesn't sleep. So and what I'm saying and that is God doesn't sleep. I'm going to bed. If I say I'm turning it over to him, I trust that you got it. And I leave it right there. Do that. And do I always do that? Absolutely not. I'm human like everybody else, but I'm worried too. But my thing is that's my mission. That's what I desire to do. Do I always accomplish that mission? Not always, but I try my best. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Do you think people worry too much, Toussaint?
For the most part,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a normal thing. We don't have no. I mean, hey, they're okay. I worry about them because they got to live in this mean, old, nasty world full of people.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. In 2 weeks, I've been off for 2 weeks, and I got to come back to this job. And I don't know, concerned about it. People are underhanded and will undermine you.
Mm-hmm.
And simple thing like keeping almost, or even wanting to stay at a job. And we talk about trust. Do we really know what he's doing?
Toussaint, that's a heck of a question, but I'm gonna throw something else.
First of all,
Do we have to?
Okay. No, you don't. But most people try to figure him out,
Mm-hmm.
wondering if he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it seems like he's not there. The providence of God. The part of is knowing that he has a providence, or he's there when it seems like he's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard thing. But you can't see it.
Yeah.
Believe that he's a figment of your imagination. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got to see stuff. Most of the time, life is full of tests. Most of the time, you fail at it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah.
Especially when it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you got a cheat slip on the test, can't slip. But you're good, especially even if you have just throw this out here.
Mm-hmm.
The concern about whether you're gonna get caught cheating.
Whole different ball of wax.
Yeah. So concern and worry, people say they cousins if they're not.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
We can say I got faith. Yeah, you got faith. Okay, good. All right. Well, why are you staying all night? Worrying about whatever you want to say about stuff that you have no control over.
Yes.
And I beg to differ, Sir Badger. It's not a figment of our imagination. I think that
Mm-hmm. That's good.
more real than we ever thought.
Mm-hmm. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. God doesn't sleep, so I'm going to bed. God doesn't sleep, I'm going to bed. And we're talking about, do people worry too much? Tucson, did you thought?
Yeah, I was man.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. What's on your heart?
Yeah.
Was Donald talking about my comment that control is an illusion?
Ask him.
Yep.
Was that what? Huh?
Yeah. That's what I meant. That I was trying to think. I'm sorry, but I'll come back in. Yes. Now, what about the government? More control your money than you do. The banks,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
slavery, manipulation. Is that illusions? No, that's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a lot of debate happens. And one of the things I've learned talking with people over time is it's a lot easier for people to use that word and to believe in that word for sanity reasons and different things of that nature.
Which word are you referring
What? Control.
to? Okay.
Because the job can be taken away, or you're walking forward and putting trust out there and just doing the best you can, then doors can open, doors can close. At times, if a person looks back and go, well, it was my fault because of my decision, but maybe there's something more to it. Maybe that door closed because another one was supposed to be opened up for you. It's just learning how to see it. So to me, I approach life differently, acknowledging that if I have control over anything, using that word, it's how I react. It's how open-minded I choose to be.
Agree that a wise man says that knows that he have control over nothing.
I think so. Because if anything can be taken or a situation changed, there's so much random things that can happen in a person's life. It's not possible to control every aspect of life. That's why I live by a motto of be responsible for yourself and to others. We have a choice of how we react, of working on self to be in charge, not control, in charge of our emotions, how we interpret our experiences, and the things that are within our mind, to work hard to become one with the source again. And so for me,
Mm-hmm.
to say that
Mm-hmm.
I control things devalues the source.
My sister, y'all give me 1 second. Issues with this, then I'm gonna be back. So y'all bear with me just for us to keep talking.
All right. So I just have a very different perspective when it comes to the source and the word control and things like that. Y'all got some storms out
Hopefully.
there?
Hopefully that fixed it right there. Yeah, that's right there. So hopefully that rectified the situation. Andrew,
Yes, sir.
wise man knows that he have control over nothing. Do you agree with that, or do we think that we're in more control than what we?
Well, I was just thinking about a scripture, and it says, God says, I know the thoughts that I have towards you, thoughts of good and not of evil, to bring the expected end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we believe that God knows end from the beginning, and there's this ultimate plan for us. And we should, because I'm talking to me too right now.
Mm-hmm.
We should trust his process, whether it is good, bad, or ugly. We should always do it. Personally, me, no. Even though I know that there's a plan for me, and no matter how hard it gets or whatever, it's going to work for my good in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you tell me that it's going to work for my good when my child dies?
Mm. Wow.
Tell me how you gonna make that work out for my good.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But
Yes.
God has a plan in everything that happens. That's my belief, and no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's it for me on that one.
Wow, that's good. That's good, Rico. What do you say to that, man? A wise man knows that he has control over nothing.
I mean, again, there's a limit to everything. Some things you do have control, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is understanding what you don't have control over.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody said, I'm the richest black man on the planet. And I can say whatever I want to. To me, I can even say anti-Semitic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got power. I got control. They decreased that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe like 10 times he's worth he was. He wouldn't have worked that in the beginning, but he thought he had power and hope. But see, that's what can happen. When you think you have control and you don't know the system control, it's just meant for you to sometimes in playing our parts and don't realize that we still are the system or the plan or the rat race. You know what I'm saying? If we are still a part of those people's plan that study rat communities. Understand how behavior works. So they don't even realize you don't information. Sometimes you give up control over certain information just to have access to the things in life, accomplish and achieve the things that you attempted to want to. You gotta you gotta have a passport to travel this great planet.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a passport to leave outside of your borders. Somebody said you on probation, and they controlling how you move. You say you behind on child support, well, we'll take your driver's license. You can't even drive a car. Exists.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't realize that system exists, you will only think you're in control.
And that's where I was about to go. You think they can? But before I do that, is right? Or did they have control? I'm gonna shut my system down because it's acting up pretty bad this morning. So I'm gonna shut it down and bring it right. Okay.
You know, I'm kind of going to use this as an example. Is Raheen in control of his technology this morning? So it, this has always been an interesting topic for me, because within society and each individual person, there are different perceptions of what a word can mean, and our environment can also influence what those words mean, or how we take it in, how we use it, what the definition is. And that to me can be very influential to conversations, is learning that people have puzzle pieces to learn from one another. Where I've learned to, and how I've learned to look at life, is such a combination of so many different things that was outside of my control, that taught me to live life a certain way. They're back.
Yes, we're back. Good deal. Good deal. Appreciate you, man. Puzzle pieces. You was talking about the puzzle pieces.
The puzzle pieces that each of us have through our experiences, our perceptions of words and definitions, the influence that are the influence the different experiences in life gives us, that can be shared with other people to teach, to help, to guide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard what I said a moment ago,
I
was
did.
about, do you have, looks like you don't have control over your technology this morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or did you have it at all?
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I think we had to break away. Rico, finish your thought, brother. Is it a fragment of our this whole control thing? And what is control?
Did he not get it? What I said the last time. What I said the last time.
We got a little bit of it, but I had to break away, man. My system was acting, and hoping it is acting better now, but it still seemed like the signal was coming in, and it's not as strong as it usually is. So we're gonna make it through it, and I'll be able to fix it, work on it later on, and get it back up to speed. But what control? What we're in more
Hello?
tricked us into think that we're in more control than what we really in.
Well, it was once again, it was that the thing called society, community. It created it created you need institutions and systems to make sure the society or the organizations, and so you have to put pieces together to make sure those things function. But now, who controls the dictates how the community functions? Well, it should be the community. You have some of those that come in they get this thing called, what happens with power. You have more influence, impact, the conditions of your environment. So those people and they start seeking it, whether it's either getting control of resource or coming up with that people conform to and adapt to. We have. I think they really benefit the
Looks like still having some technical issues. The connection's breaking in and out. I'm sure he'll reset it and be right back so we can finish hearing what.
so I thought I mean, as a matter of fact, right now, some parents don't want to punish or spank their children because they don't have the power that they thought they used to have.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Come in and do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I don't have the power as a father. If I go get my son right now, I'm good because I'm violating court orders.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can only son when they deem it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. Tucson, what is control? What does that really mean? What does it look like?
What? I almost agree with Badger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think contains control is imagination. You ever heard somebody say, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because circumstances will change.
Mm-hmm.
Weather conditions mess your day up.
Mm-hmm.
Go today. Started off walking and the weather changed. Maybe time. People plan. People plan at a certain time, and the light low, or they have an accident, or the train passes. The ground open up.
Mm-hmm.
Anything change what you going to do or what you plan to do. You don't have, you can't dictate that. There are people start off rich and become poor overnight. The lottery can change your life.
Yes.
And ruin your life.
Yes, sir.
Because they don't rob broke folks. Maybe they do. But they'll bust you in the head because you've won the lottery and they know where your money is.
Mm-hmm.
People take their eye off of their children and never see them again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Divorce, marriage,
Mm-hmm.
having children, those manipulation, joining the wrong church with the wrong leader can change you, make you drink Kool-Aid.
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So many things can change what you into.
Mm-hmm.
Morning and start off and go. We don't need you no more.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're success, and because you thought you had it all made, had it all together, and you lose everything you can and drive off the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You and your children.
Wow.
They happen. I don't know why this guy. Broke folks don't drive Teslas.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this man driving a Tesla. Him, his wife, and 2 children, and he drive off the cliff.
Yep.
Why he do that?
Mm-hmm. Gave up.
Playing a football game, and to go to tackle somebody, and your heart stop beating.
Mm. Wow.
And change the whole course of the whole game. Instead of them playing an important game, they decide to pray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
So,
that's good. That's good. Good doing this morning.
I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, doing good to have you, sis. We asking a question. People. Let me go back to the topic. Is God doesn't sleep, so bed. Do people worry too much?
Oh, hi, yeah. I'm worrying.
Wow. Wow. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we just keep it up, I know that we have this faith in it, and this is where I struggle with, because I don't think that it doesn't mean that we don't always have faith, because we all know the scripture, have faith of a mustard seed, but we're also human.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sometimes because I used to feel bad for being like, okay, but I'm still worried about it. Because I will tell you, I will pray and be like, Lord, I'm going to leave it in your hand. And then like 3 hours later, I'm just like, okay, can I get the ETA on the answer on that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and it doesn't mean, because I can't speak for everyone else. I just want to know that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the worrying comes in. But we have to be able, we actively practice every second of the day to truly, if we're going to operate in his will, then we also have to be okay ever his will. And that.
Exactly. Cassandra, what do you say? Because it's a 24 job, really, mission to relinquish that control, and we say we give it to him.
Navy, all I gotta say is, Navy, I'm getting ready to pass. We're gonna send that money on over there to you. I mean, you hit it head. I don't, that's why I don't try to like spiritual and super deep, and I got it all together and all of the answers, because life will throw you that will make you question who you are.
Yes.
My name is Cassandra, right? I mean, some things will slap you so hard in your face or knock you to the ground. You so busy reeling, you don't know who you are. I'm just being honest. And I've had situations like, that's why I'm not so critical and quick to jump on people. Tell them, you didn't get yourself together. But why are you worried about that? You say you love God. I don't do that, because I know life is real. Man, I mean, I'm just being honest. And y'all, I'm about transparency. You can pretend like together if you want you down, and then you sitting in the corner with something in your mouth.
Say it.
I can't be like that. I'm just things that really are we concerned, make me anxious. So the word says, be anxious for nothing. I'm telling you, I'm not there yet. I'm striving to people to know. Don't feel like you are a failure and feel certain ways about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will make you feel that way.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just being honest.
And that's the truth. People will sit question you all day when them, Cassandra. Well, how you gonna say you that? Well,
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And so the part of it right there, that's the big piece of it right there. Sit there and question you all day long. But anyway, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm well. How you out there?
So, Toy, we talking about do people worry too much? Do people worry too much? And the topic basically is God doesn't sleep, so I'm going to bed. Why are we worrying? If we say God got it, why are we worrying?
That's right. We can't help it. We can't help it. I'm human. What you mean? I just told myself over the weekend, now, Lord, now, honey, I'm trying to work. He said, that's what you get. You trying to work. I said, all right, I'm done. It's a season for everything. And I know in this season, I've been telling people I started doing lives about it 4 years ago. This is God's time. God's time. You can't help it because you're so used to telling yourself you're in control. I did. I had this baby. I raised my child. I did. I got this job. You ain't did a daggone thing.
Come on.
You ain't got no baby. God. You know how I know? Because ain't nothing wrong with me. And I had sex just like you and I had no kids yet. The doctor flat out told me, we can't do nothing for you medically. There's nothing wrong. You just got to wait on God. It's a number of things. The internet finna start acting up. We mentioning the big God. We finna get a shutdown, y'all. But no, you can't help it. The way we breathe. The way we breathe, it's like, oh, you breathing, and as soon as somebody tell you, oh my God, you gonna run out of air. Oh, I can't breathe, but ain't nothing wrong. It's in your brain. And when it comes to worrying, it's in our brain. We think we do something. We think we run something. We think we wake ourselves up during the day. We think we get our own jobs. We think that however your mind is, the way you are, oh, you just got like that. Nope, God's grace. So we can't help but worry. That's just like when you tell your young children, your young teenagers. I promise you, my nieces called me the other day. How many years I preached to them? Don't be having sex till you get certain age. This, that, and the third. This, that, and the third. She called me, oh, auntie, me and my boyfriend got broke up. This, that, and the third. And you know what? I found out that we really didn't have things. You know, we didn't really have things in common. I said, well, what do you think made y'all stay together so long? She was like, this sex. I said, okay, then God put all these little messages around you for you to do things, but you still want to do it your own way. We are just like that with God. We want to do it our own way. It's not about what he knows, what he told us, the word he left us. We want to do our own way. So as humans, just like kids that can't stay asleep during Christmas time, we got to get up and move. We got to do it our own way. So it's like, you know, we can't help but worry because we think we're doing this ourselves.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Can you... Okay. It's back now. My system is acting up real bad.
Whenever you talk about the God, right here, just pay attention. Every time you talk about the God, it goes DOWN.
It all kind of foolishness. It's okay. We still gonna make it through. Badger.
You know, I made a comment in the chat. And that's something that I hear people say quite often. Satan made me do it, yet I'm in control of my life. People are quick to blame other things. Even I can be guilty of it. But it's one of those things of nobody's perfect. All of us are going through different lessons, different parts of the path. And I have the perspective I have because of all of my experiences. So to me, it's just one of those things of the willingness to learn and grow is what can be so powerful to me. And it's learning how to have that trust, how to build that faith in a way of being thankful, acknowledging that in a moment everything can change. And if every experience, is a direction for us to become a particular type of vessel for the source. If every experience is tied to that concept, to that ideology, then even the worst thing even the worst things that happen to us have a reason. And it's learning how to understand it, to be open enough to understand it. Be it a mental disease, be it a color, be it a loss of a child, be it just things all across the board. And I've been able to be an ear for someone to talk to so many times because of the experiences I was given.
Yes, absolutely.
Which helped me learn compassion and empathy at a very different level than just the way someone would have empathy that hasn't gone through something like that. Like the empathy coming from a parent that hasn't lost a child versus the empathy empathy coming from a parent that has is completely different. And to me, those are the things that taught me how much control we don't have. And taught me about
Go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. Finish
well, you're cutting in and out, so I don't know like when you're disconnected and when you're not. So it's making me kind of thrown off.
Okay. But go ahead. Finish.
I would just okay. That's pretty much it. I was continuing, and I was probably going to go to like Rico Otoya because I thought you were disconnecting. That's all.
Okay. Let me go to Rico. Let me ask you this question, man. Badger said something just now. He said something. He said the devil make a person. They say the devil made them do it, but yet and still they say that they're also in control. How could those two go together?
I mean, they can go together to the point to where you still have to make a decision. They everybody gives that little example of the devil and the angel on your shoulders. And you know what I'm saying? And with those two being on your shoulder, you got one in your ear and then another one in your ear, and it's like, okay, which choice am I going to make? That's where you have to control it. Your desire, your deepest desires, and which one what desire will influence you to make a decision on whether you're going to do good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the same time, knowing how to control the influence that those influences have on you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where you have to really understand your humanity. You know, I think we talked about this last week. You know, we was talking about Jesus coming in and going back and dying for people's sins. You know, if that was actually God coming in human form, you know, maybe that was his way of trying to say, well, you know what, let me see just how strong this force is that's making these people disobey me. Or son, go down there and tell me what's going on. Tell me what's so strong about this sexual feeling and these emotions and this orgasm and this dopamine and all these different influences and things that these people are indulging in that's distracting them from my word and my rule and my law. Tell me. And he went back and he said, Dad, man, those women that you created, I see why the angels went down there and did what they did. Oh my goodness, they got a nature about them that is very, it's hard to resist. It's tempting. Oh my goodness, that devil done came up with something, man. I don't know if it's the devil or not. But what they do can make you go, or the devil can use that to get you to start influencing other things.
Actually coming in and out a little bit. So the system is rebooting right now. So y'all bear with this for a second. It's going to come back through. And there you go. Yeah. No, hey Rico.
Hmm.
Let me go. Look, let me go. Cassandra, what's so? Look at Cassandra with a laugh. Look at it. Cassandra.
I ain't laughing. I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I'm totally, you know, with what everybody has said. You know, there are things that cause us to worry or be concerned or be anxious. I don't care. I mean, it's something that can shake you. I know people say, I'm not going to stand. Well, I've heard that a lot, and I deal a lot with others that call me crying like babies. Sometimes we feel like we
I think he DC'd Rico.
Go ahead and do your thing, man.
between those two, and what people out of their mouth like they Superman and women. Well, good. I'm glad that you are that Superman and ain't nothing shaking you. But I promise you, something can shake. Even though you got this great faith, and I'll never demean what somebody believes. I'm not saying that, but I am just ain't seen it. All of the men and women I know, all men and women of God that have been doing with God for 30, 40 years, and I've seen them to their knees when certain things hit them.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep, exactly. Navy, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
Yeah, we do. And I 100% agree with Sandra said. I mean, not that I work, you know, spiritual leaders or anything like that. Well, I guess to some degree, but when it comes to this faith walk, when it comes to control, it's almost like with it is that it did not allow me to be human, and it's almost like I had to be like if faith was all. It's almost like when your faith is tested, and when something is going on, it's either I've done something wrong, or at least that's the way that I was indoctrined, that I did something wrong, my faith wasn't, or I'm being taught a lesson, but we don't humanize the experience. This is an experience. I don't know what I don't know. This is something that I have not yet, and we like to. I think that I know it's meant to be well taught this in our and so does not humanize me feel guilt for being human. No situation when I've never been in this situation before. So how am I supposed to get the lesson out of it if I'm being beat over the head, saying that my faith isn't strong enough, which is why I'm in. Well, I can't say unless it's something that like I done. But either way, even I still have to learn from it. But I don't know. I struggle with the topic just because it is very close to home. When we're talking about our faith and how we've been brought up, because it's been given to like a mathematical equation: A plus B equals C. But this realm, that's not always plus B doesn't always equal C.
Come on.
And A may not always be A. So I don't know. That's all I got for that one.
Wow. That's the way that we've been given it and the way that it's been presented to us. Is it the reality? Is it the reality of what it is? People say, well, that sounds like you questioning your faith. No. I'm just questioning. Have we been given the absolute? Have we been given the absolute? Tucson, talk to me.
The biggest thing you're not given in the lessons on that as I read and pay how it works. Okay, let me just stop. God gives Abraham a promise, and he says, I'm gonna bless your seed. I'm gonna put it 100 years, and then I'm gonna bring them out. How do you, right, or anybody, conversation that's going on between God and the devil about you? I don't know why they have the sons of God meets and Satan there, and all of a sudden God asks Satan, where you going? He says, I'm just coming through, walking up. You say, well, look, try Job. It's a rich man. Trust God, and he does everything that he can do to avoid evil. Up pop the devil in his life. That's just a story. But you wake up in the morning and all hell breaks with your faithful self full of the Holy Ghost. Baptized, wrapped up, tied up, and and all of a sudden you get a call that change your whole life. Just one. The most important thing to you in life goes away. And now you dig it.
Wow.
Wish you would have never been. You everything you got gone, your wife turned against you, your children gone, and here you are, now you're sick, and you don't know why. That's something.
Wow.
So do with your faithful self.
Like a blink of everything could change like a blink of an eye.
Get run over by a train when it makes so much noise.
That's good question.
You have a flat tire. Just a flat. And go into a rollover. Like the doctor give you a diagnosis. And the Lord's going to heal you. But you don't know it because you got cancer.
Wow. Yes, sir. Yes.
With your faithful self. and all you had is
Mm-hmm.
your faith. No, he's gonna bring you out because it takes him 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You said something.
Life,
Go
this
go
test
go ahead.
of life.
You said
No, just
the
the
time.
test of life.
Mm-hmm.
The-
The time. Yeah.
I mean, God knows you. The enemy makes you think he knows you,
Mm-hmm.
and he allows the head to be moved away from around you, and then all you got is your life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Cassandra, we try to put God a lot of times on our timeline. It's almost like it's like we try to put him in a microwave, hit the little 20 seconds. If it ain't, then we lose our confidence, our trust, and our faith in God. Why?
Yeah, I would say because once again, that's an individual. You with whatever your belief system is, whoever that is. It's an individual thing. So I can't say why testing is real
Mm-hmm.
and you decide. I mean, there have been times I've died twice. Once for 7
Mm-hmm.
and I've been died on sessions, and literally was like preparing my family, my my child, for my death, and then spoke to me and said, you have not fulfilled your purpose and you're not going in. So there is a point where knowing and is just no, not being honest. I did not see any change in when God told me that I was going to live. There was physical check time.
Mm-hmm.
So now the doctor's telling me I'm going to die. God is speaking to my spirit, telling me, and my body is still not doing what it do. Where do you go? You understand what I'm saying? So those decisions shall I believe. And it just so happened that for me, I said, you know what? I believe individual decision we all have to make.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Really, man. I really don't have nothing else to say on this, man. I mean, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, man. You go through certain situations where you realize your mortality and your humanity. You realize your limitations. Everybody like to say, well, the sky's the limit, but we do also know that we have limitations. There's some things that we really have to just accept that, we can't do something about some things. Some things we can't do anything about. We have been given the intelligence, the tools and the ability to be able to try and impact and influence as much as we can. Do we worry or concern ourselves with too much? We should concern ourselves with as much as we can influence, with whatever we can impact, whatever we can contribute to. We know that there's bad and evil that exists, and it's always working 24/7. If you don't concern yourself or worry about the things you can impact or influence, you can have a lot of evil and bad things going on around you, and you won't know it, or it'll just continue to succeed, and we'll be complaining about it at the same time. If you don't have any concern or any worries, then I assume that you probably never have any complaints or negative judgments about anybody. Because for you to even have a negative judgment about another person, or I'm gonna say for you to even segregate yourself from somebody for a certain reason, to a certain extent, you have to be concerning or worrying yourself about something with them. It's something, maybe they ain't smart enough, maybe they don't make enough money. I don't worry about this, I don't worry about that. But at the same time, I only deal with certain people. You still have to be concerned with something if you are judging and determining who you're going to associate yourself with and who you're going to give your energy to. You know what I'm saying? If you have any kind of discrimination or discernment going on. So sometimes when we say we aren't concerned or we aren't worrying, trust me, we are. Because if we picking the type of people we dating and picking the type of people that we surrounding ourselves with, we concerned and worried about the type of people we have around us. So just like God don't sleep, we shouldn't be sleeping either. We should always be concerned or worried about something as long as we're trying to survive. If we're not trying to survive, then a lot of times we may end up just letting things happen to us and just praying about it. Or we may end up letting things happen to other people and just praying for them instead of taking the opportunity to have an impact or influence ourselves.
That's good. That's good. Toya with a T. It was said earlier that a lot of times people say the devil made. We're talking about control, and they say that the devil made me do something. If a person say the devil made them do it, they did it because the devil made them do it. The control, or they in all actually at that time they lost control.
More than likely, I'm thinking they gave into a wicked power. I mean, you could say I just ate all you want to, but somebody might want to know what you ate. The devil that is being specific. You gave into the ultimate reign of evil power, and the God of evil. The prince of evil is who? Oh, you're absolutely right. No lie. When I was smoking cigarettes, knowing that it could give me cancer, I would say stupid, goofy stuff like, oh, well, Newport's going to be on my lung. That was the devil. I was possessed. God did not have me acting and doing them things. Did I know God? Yes, I come up from a Christian home, but I gave in. I surrendered my spirit, some of the things that I did. I'm going to be honest. Having sex before I was married. I'm going to be all the way real. Okay. An obsession of the devil and power. It was a lot of ways that was in my heart and things that I would do. Hey, I might not steal from you, but I steal from the government. I would. That is not God. Now, was God involved? Yeah, because he protected me the whole way because I didn't get caught. I didn't get caught up. I didn't get murdered. I ain't trafficked. I didn't get none of that. But the actions and the things that I was doing, I wasn't walking around here talking about, oh, yeah, I'm going on swear, church. No. So it was the spirit of wickedness, of possession of wickedness. Again, to me, when I hear goes back to it be the devil. And again, the only reason why I notice this is because the veil is off my eyes now, right? Because when I was walking, I took all the choice. God gave me a choice to do what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was be a whore, not make sure my game with making sure I finish these white folks' game when it comes to education and getting it. And walking around here playing like I'm doing something, but I really wasn't. And at the end of the day, now when I surrender my spirit, again, I'm not perfect. I'm still me. I was away for 38 days. Time for me to get a lot better. But now I surrender to God now because I just be good. I don't want to do those things anymore. So now I'm basking myself into the God-like energy. And guess what? He possessed me. And when he possessed me, now I get free when I do certain things. So the same way that God can infiltrate and possess people, so can the devil. So yes, the devil made me do it. It's the power of them by a spirit. That cause them to doing wicked things. Period.
Exactly. Badger?
I mean, I don't have much else to say. I think a lot of us have hit it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an individual thing. It's you know where you're at, what you're able to process, what you're open to, and your experiences. It's a very individual thing, or at least in my opinion. And there are things in life that can show us that we're not, and there's things in life that can give us the illusion that we are. And then you take in society as a whole, there's all kinds of things that can affect our everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, I made a comment earlier of like watched a video this morning, and it gave an interesting perspective on something that I've been thinking about a lot. And it's essentially it's what we give control over us.
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about the Roman circus. Back in the old times, you know, there was gladiators and all kinds of things, right? On today's day and age, we have sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've seen so many people lose their mind over sports, or, you know, parents that, hey, we're going to go watch it. We're going to go to this football game and we're going to trust somebody else with our kids and come home and the kids ain't there.
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
there's so many different scenarios in life of example after example after example.
Mm-hmm.
Anything and everything can change in a moment.
Blink of an eye, be a blink of an eye, brother.
So
A blink of an eye.
You know, if that's true, why are so many people more worried about or so worried about having control over their life? Where did that thought come from?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Good. That's good. Sis. You there?
If we're hey, yeah, can y'all hear me? Hello.
Yes, we hear
Oh,
you.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, I don't think I have any more to add. Good job, like summing that topic up.
I need to ask y'all a question. There was the point, the Bruce Beach. Are familiar with that situation? It was a black family that owned. It was taken away from them, and they fought for years to get the beach back, and eventually they got the beach back, and it's in the and a lot of people came to their support and supported them, spoke out for them and stuff like this, spoke out against the for and how they had taken the land from the people, from the Bruce family. The Bruce family got the beach back. They got the beach back, and they had this big thing on in the end, and all over television, talking about how, you know, congratulating them for getting all these years. They held it for maybe 2 months or something, 2-3 months. They beach back. The beach, they got a whole beach. The beach, look it up. Beach. Sold it back to the state of California for $20. My question is why? Why go through all the, you know, and money and stuff like that, but 20 million they beach back, basically gave the beach back for $20 million. Sandra, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't. Now maybe I'm not read it correctly, and do the research on that.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave the right to still belongs to, but they gave them the right to use the beach
that area of the beach. I'm thinking that's what it is.
Mhm.
They didn't done
Mhm.
before. Well, suppose wrong. Maybe maybe I missed my read on that, but they did not sell them the beach person, sold them the right to have access to the beach.
And from what I saw in the research that I've done and a couple of things that came across my feed is saying that they actually sold the Bruce family is selling the beach back to the state of California. I had to look into it a little more, and I hope that's the case. I hope they still own it. But from what I understood, from what I saw, they sold it for $20 million. They sold it back for $20 million. Navy, what's on your heart?
Oh Lord. So they waited all this time
Fought
to
together.
wait
Mhm.
for the property. They sold it back for $20 million.
Mhm.
Well, one, I feel like that they definitely lowballed it if you're gonna sell it for me. I ain't never seen $20 million in my life. But looking at the actual value, I don't know if I have anything conducive to that because I don't understand the purpose as to why you would fight so long and so hard to get something back, to turn it back over into the hands of the that you just got it from. I don't really understand that concept, and I feel like that like air property within us, like we, and no offense to the family, and I really don't mean to sound like a butthole whenever I say this, but we dumb stuff like that for the sake of $1. Like, I don't know. I just don't know if it was worth it. $20 million to be able to give away like that legacy once again that you thought. I just don't understand the fight then. I don't understand the fight if you were just going to turn it back over. That's almost like releasing yourself, like being a prisoner and then like fighting all these years to become free and be like, you know what? I kind of miss y'all. I'd like to hear. Let's go back. I don't understand it.
Mhm. The black family who won the return of Bruce's beach. I think my feed is a little bit here. Let me see. It's trying to wait till to get back restored. Rico, can you hear me, bro?
You in and out real bad, man.
I see my signal is very low, but we'll follow through. You know, they don't want us to have this conversation for a reason, man. But go ahead. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I mean, money always does it, man. I mean, I'm gonna always bring that part up, man. I mean, we make ourselves real cheap sometimes for that dollar, for that currency.
Okay.
And when you ask yourself why somebody would do something like that, I mean, I'm pretty sure they could find plenty of good reasons, to say why they did it. To be honest with you, maybe they couldn't manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they couldn't continue the success of it, and they didn't want it to crumble in their hands. Sometimes we are prepared for what regentrification and the corporate world, produces. We speak about financial literacy and, wanting to be entrepreneurs and this and that, but, when you start really learning how that game is played, sometimes you realize you can't play that game. You can't even wrap your mind around it. Business, resources. I mean, it's to be honest with you, a lot of it is mind manipulation. I've been looking at documentaries all weekend. I do that all the time anyway. I shouldn't even say it all weekend. I saw a documentary about Nestle and Coca-Cola. and how marketing actually made them the money that they made. And at one point in time, before I was born, that Nestle had such a marketing scheme that they paid people to pretend to be nurses to influence mothers to stop breastfeeding and convince them that the milk that they produced was better than their own milk for the money.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow. Okay, my thing is, let me go to we got Stanley. We got Stanley with us this morning. Stanley, how you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. Doing good. Doing good. How y'all doing?
Hey, Bruce family, the Bruce, California, and they fought all this time. It was time to actually get the beach to be turned back to the family because the county had taken it away from them. They fought. They had everybody come out speak out on their behalf. Got the beach back. LA said, okay, you know, we did. Said we're gonna give you the beach back. Now they're prepared. Will have all the beach back to LA County for $20 million. $20 million in California, man. There ain't no money in California. What do you think about that, man? Why would they do something like that?
Well, first of all, they don't understand legacy. You know, most people right now just want instant gratification. They're looking at $20 million right now. Oh, we can take that, we can split it and do, you know, get the money and live good.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing that 15, 30 years from now, they could have left that for their children.
Exactly.
You know, to have property, because land is the only thing that makes anymore of.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get your hands on some land, you need to hold on to it. So they don't understand the importance of legacy. Like I said, they get like I said, that's really for some money, and then in reality, there's no money in California.
Exactly.
You should have held on to it. But if you don't have anybody really to explain it to you, guide you in the right direction when it comes to that type of thing, then you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened with them. They don't and get them in their counseling or wisdom. Hey, don't do this. Just hold on to this property. You know, lease it. If you're gonna do anything, lease it back.
Yeah.
You know,
mm-hmm.
but don't sell it back. Yeah. And I got the sweet man in legacy. You know, my grandfather left us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had that in the family since like 1969, I want to say. And doing some stuff to that property and my own property. And I put some ponds on it. Now we're going to fence some of it and stuff like that. And he told me before he died, I'm the oldest grandson. He said, whatever you do, don't let them sell this property. Because if I wanted it sold, I would have sold it myself.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's for y'all and y'all's grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So they just having about make them understand the importance of property and legacy. I mean, that's what it was.
Exactly. Toya, would you talk to me? What does it sound like to you?
Oh yeah, definitely. They didn't understand the importance of hands on a piece of prime property. I ain't never even played, but I know a beach. Oh my gosh! Listen, let me tell you something. They do the state of California. They do things as rights grants and such. You know, America get on. This is the part where I got to talk about white for a second because they rule it right. I'm on earth with that. Just like when they came and took the property. This, that, and the third, this, that, and the third, do this, that, and the third. You got to pay for this, that, you got to upkeep this, that, and the third. Because the code that we made that said this, that, and the third code, and it's going to cost you $6 million to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
In America. Only being by us. When I say white folks right now, I'm just talking about the government.
Yeah.
They said consist of house Negroes too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not having the literacy to do it's on the beach. And all the codes and stuff they probably put us talking about what you got to eat, and it's probably come over there. Man, please, let me tell you. By the time they got finished sending them people a bill, they was like, listen, we ain't even ever seen numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I already know what the game is. Let's just give me the 20 million and let's just go ahead and cut it clean. Because again, they don't do right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what come out there. Oh, kumbaya, oh, Black Lives Matter. No, Glenn, they still don't do right. And I can just imagine what kind of bill and what kind of issues that they Black people through. I want to know, I want to be the fly on the wall. Did they start these still got Trumpers everywhere? And again, I don't agree with all their tactics. Some of it, keeping your guns, you know what I'm saying? Not having abortions. I might couple them. I'm not no KKK run people up out their stuff. Still exists. And are they having those issues go on? Because if so, again, we all have issues and make moves the way we do. It's multiple influences that is going on Black beach that make them feel like it ain't worth it, so they gave it back.
Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson, come.
Man, the beach thing, something I'll have to look up. But to me, I mean, it just sounds like the typical nonsense of people in power. Once again, they're in power. They want to keep it, so they're going to do whatever they can to keep it. And that's what they do. That's what they want to do. And it stinks. That's just the way our society is. You know, those in power rule over us. And until we can quit fighting among one another, it's just that is the way it is. Their separation tactics have worked very well. Very, very well. All the things that are in the past have led to us having some pretty hardcore issues. We're separated by all kinds of things. There's so much, in my view, of what's going on and that has been done. I hit a button. That they would rather keep it going. They feed it. And a lot of people buy into it.
Yeah.
And until we, including myself, get into a better mindset that, you know, we're all human beings, that unfortunately a lot of times deal with different versions of hate and bigotry and misdirection, illusions, worries, stress, and acknowledge and be respectful to one another and each individual's experiences, I don't think much is going to change.
Wow. 504-3521 508-924-35. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, we're in this whole story, man. Was it the underhanded things going on, man? They fought all this time back, painted it. Now they talk selling it back. Will have sold it back for $20 California dollars. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson, you there?
Oh, I was mute that man. You can't hear me. Control over something. I was thinking about what you just said. Said grief will turn a man to rags. The $20 million might be nothing. If we just want to pay for fight for it. Families. The death of one will make you lose everything a family got.
He's having to reset his connection. Rico, you there? I think Rico also stepped away. Very interesting. Donald and Cassandra and Navy and other people that are also on the line. DKM Media is such an amazing. This platform is so amazing to be able to have.
Put everything in it to keep the family together.
Yeah.
You would think if you have more than 1 or 2, 3 children, you think they love each other together. Will die. They'll fight at the funeral.
Wow.
Because somebody fine piece of jewelry that everybody looking at.
Wow.
Sure will. I don't know why he did it, but I know one thing. People, value different things. What may be gold to you might be, or treasure to you, junk to somebody else. I'll say one more thing. Somebody might think they got an ant car. No, it's just old.
There's a difference. There's definitely a difference. Watch this. Oh!
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I am doing awesome this morning. Amen.
Well, we're talking about whose family over California or not, but they way on back, the great grandfather, whatever was, bought a beach and owned the beach. California came and took the beach from them, and they fought, had all kind of social media and had all kind of celebrities and stuff like that fighting for them to get the beach back. And California gave them the beach back, gave the beach back to them, gave it back. They in turn went back in and sold the beach right back to the LA County for $20 million. What do you hear? What do you hear in that story?
Wow. First of all, I don't know the story and I don't know anything about it. But you know what, Raheem? That's what happens a lot of times when family members, and that's something that while we live in, we need to look, because a lot of family members wait till somebody died in order to get those things that you have. Unfortunately, motive might not have been, and you could say that because of what they did, the evidence of what they did when they split the money. How much focus we put on those things temporary and those things that are eternal. Fight over all this temporary stuff that don't mean nothing. So that's what's so hard, right?
Wow. Cassandra, what are you hearing this scene? I told you what is he coming to you in the whole situation now. Why is it that, and they did sell it for $20 million? Like I say, that's from the footage and stuff like that I saw for $20 million. Cassandra, first of all, in California, that's not a lot of money. And why would they even go through the fight to obtain it back to the LA County?
But you have to know the full story.
It says that they did sell 2 parcels of the land back to California. And also they have a 2-year option where they can purchase it back from California. In 2 years with $20 million, if they decide to invest and they want to purchase have the money to purchase the property back, they can do that. So we got to know that. That's an option that was written into the decision making. And also, none of the family members live in California. They did, and the county was leasing the property from them for $413,000 a year. All of that, we need to put all of that into perspective. Everybody doesn't want, everybody may not want to live. They may not want, they didn't want it. They saw.
Okay, but Cassandra,
Raheem,
but listen, let me say this.
They had.
Let me say this. I don't mean to cut you off, Cassandra, but let me ask you this. If they were leasing it for $400 and some thousand a year, that's lowballed in California though. A beach.
I know. It like I said, it was 2 parcels of land, and we all know what a parcel is. And it's not developmental. They can't develop. It's not land that they can develop.
Okay.
It wasn't zoned for developing. So it's a lot of different things. I feel like this family had they had great attorneys. They said helping them to sort through it. And if that's the decision that they made, it's a reason why they made that decision. And they wanted to get the money for investments. And because nobody really wanted to deal with it. A lot of times people just don't want to deal with stuff, and at $20 million is nothing in California. But if you live on the East Coast or in the South, $20 million can do a lot for how many ever family members they got. But they made a decision. I think we should just, the fact that they made a land in that case, that gives hope to other people that may be trying to get their property back from their families. I think that's the key that we need to take away from this. But they were able to do it, and they did just be, it's their decision. And that decision they made after they have 2 years until option to decide want to buy it back, LA County, or whether they're going to keep $20 million and the property back.
Cassandra, and I hope I pray that is what they do, but don't depart. And if you get like $20 to somebody that's not used to having money, they're not gonna have that money long, Cassandra, because they're gonna go out there. They never had the access to the different things that they could do with $20 million. And before you know it, that $20 million is puff in the wind. And so I hope that they make you said they had good attorneys. I hope the attorney advised them as to what they need to do, how they need to do, and how they need to handle and make that money grow. And I hope they will be able to come back and in 2 years and buy it back. I hope they can, but interest rates and all that stuff, all these stuff is included. It's definitely gonna cost more than $20 million when they go back to the table. But I hope they've made enough money where they could buy it back.
No, they're going to be it will be the exact same amount.
Okay, so no interest.
$20 million.
No interest.
Even if they come back in 2 years, they will sell it for the $20 million.
Okay.
Same thing that they got for it.
That's good. Put that money, do something with that money. If you're gonna do something with that money, let that money work for you. So when you go back to the table, you have the $20 million to give them plus some more on top of that because it has worked for you. Toya, what's on your heart, sis?
Now, I done told some folks over the years that they done gave our great grandpappy the 40 acres in the mule back. So stop looking for 40 acres in the mule because they already got it. And they sold it. And if you're coming to me trying to give me $20 million for it, the worst do. Listen, when you go to the bank and you try to get $20 million, they're gonna ask you for collateral. And if you got a piece of property that's worth $20 million, $20 million. What do you mean? You want 20? You didn't have $20 million before you got the collateral. You got the collateral, get the collateral back. There ain't no more $20 million unless you make it on your own, and you ain't finna be pulling no land out
I'm not gonna say where you're gonna not pull no land from, but I'm just saying, no. We're talking about land. We're talking about a resource here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way in the world, Black people, if y'all listen, they came and killed people for this land. You hear me? For a reason. It has a value for a reason. And if you got land, hold on to it and tell your kids, and tell your kids, tell your grandkids, kids, that one thing we don't sell. You can sell booty, you can even sell people, but you better not sell this property because it's a resource. I'm just joking about the booty and the kids. Though.
Yeah.
But no, that is a huge resource that your family will always be able to eat off of, and it's a way that you can make money for you in these American guidelines. That's why they came and slaughtered people for it. So I will never say your lawyer is good if they're telling you to get rid of your property. They juicing you up. They're coming up with ways because even they know how valuable a piece of property, especially beachside, beachfront. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, again, I don't know all the specifics, but once you say property and own it, you ain't got no more to say to me.
Mm-hmm. And it said that Badger just put something on his thing. It says Southern California beach property that was taken from the Black couple through eminent domain, and that's how they got it years ago. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Well, that's one of those situations again that sort of go back to your first topic. Do we worry about too much?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, and I guess when it comes to land and property and this man-made concept of success, maybe it is important to some people, and then when it comes to some, you think about rights and just having long land ownership, period. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what you're concerned about it for, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I might be up in arms about it for a different reason than everybody else is. And I don't even want to say up in arms, but at the same time, it may intrigue or interest me, for another reason. But, once again, there's nothing I can do about this situation. I don't have any kind of influence or impact on it. Only thing I can do is look at it as an example, try to find out if I'm concerned, wait till they reveal why they did it. They may never reveal why they did it. And if they come to the media and say, well, we did it for this reason, we did it for that reason. They may be lying. They may have done it because they want to get a bunch of crack. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows the background of these people that just looking for a way to say, hey, man, this ain't about our ancestors. This is about that money. And so, if it's all about the money, then you know what I'm saying? I mean, then what? What if it is all about the money? What are they going to do with the money? Are they going to invest into some type of philanthropy? Are they going to grow and become somebody that's exemplifies Black excellence? Or are they just going to party to like it's 1999? So I mean, is this something for every one of us to be concerned about? Well, maybe to a certain extent, because there are other situations where people do deserve to have their land back. They do deserve to have their reparations for what that land is worth, or for the work that they put in, the value of it. But at the same time, this situation it goes a lot deeper than what we can even discuss. Who's to know what their reason was for doing it? So, this is a situation where I can only be worried about it to the smallest extent.
Wow. And they say the word Badger, read the last thing you just put up there.
So, Willa and Charles Bruce, or at least from what I'm finding, were the original owners, and it was taken. The court made them sell it for like $14,000, and back then it was worth like $70,000. And now the descendants are selling it back to LA County for $20 million. I think that's a pretty good reparation.
But I think it's worth more than that, though.
It's worth a lot more than that.
Or maybe they're selling it
no,
to
that's
invest in something else.
That's to
They're
me,
almost like they're repeating the cycle.
Yep.
It's like they're repeating the cycle. They're selling it for less than what it's valued for.
Much less, because California, man, you know, $1 million home is nothing. That's nothing, man. And to have that much land on beach land, man, come on, man. They can build a hotel on that thing, and you know how much money they'll make just by putting a hotel on that property. Just one hotel.
There's a historical marker. It's called Bruce's Beach. Why would you?
The Bruce family.
Never mind. Huh?
No, go ahead. Stanley, what's on your heart, brother? Because you know, it understand how money works, man. You know, that's beachfront property right there, and I looked at it. It's a beautiful beach. I looked at it, man. Wow. Stanley, I'm about to go somewhere.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no. And the thing about it, if we look at waterfront property, I'm not sure if any of y'all have ever lived on the lake or know anybody that lives on the lake or the beach. That's where the wealthy people try to get to.
Yes.
That's what they try to get to, the beachfront properties or the lake properties, you know. I remember 20 years ago, my wife and I was going to buy this home, but she wanted to buy a home on the lake. It's a place over here near us called Lake Jackson, which is between Macon and Atlanta. And we went and looked there. She's like, babe, I want to live here, I said, babe, I said, I'm from the country. I said, we don't go pay all this money to live on it. I said, we buy property and our own lakes. You know, so people don't understand the value of that. The money you spend trying to on a lake or near the beach, you can buy you property a little bit further out and build your own lake. So like I said, they may have a lawyer. I'm not sure who their lawyer is or what the lawyer was telling them, but property, like I said, it's the only thing on this earth that they're not making anymore. Money will come and go.
Yeah.
If they sell it for $20 million now, 10 years from now, it'll be worth $100 million. You know, whether they live in California or not, the money will spend anywhere. So even if they didn't live in California, we're never going to live on that piece of property. They could have upped the lease on the property or something and got more money and then still live good when they lived in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, or North Carolina. So I just don't think people understand the legacy concept of this thing. If you've got land, hold on to it. I've seen so many people lose land because they didn't want to pay taxes. You know, come on. You rather give the government the land than to hold on to it for taxes.
Yeah.
But it happens all the time. They don't want to pay the taxes on it.
Exactly.
Or you have family members, three out of 20 paying the taxes. But then everybody want to lay claim to the land. No, it don't work like that. So it's just a lot of levels to this conversation, man. We could go all day on this. This was a good topic, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's so many, man. It bothers me. This one here bothers me a little bit here. This one here really bothers me. Tucson. Then I'm going to Navy, Willa, and then I'm going to K with an E. Tucson.
It actually don't really bother. But I mean, I know people value. Some people value stuff, and people care about money. People care about thought. Depends on if I live somewhere else. $1 million in California, Tussle, Georgia, whole lot more. The same size house.
Yep.
Or let me see this. Just think about how much a house costs in California. In Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
I can live just as good. And say, well, somebody said, I stay in California. You know, it makes no sense. I stayed in California. And to me, you waste more money. I mean, really. I mean, before you can eat, you didn't to have a you paying $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I stay in California. I mean, it depends on what you value. I mean, you got airplane, but one of them like to smoke crack. But he owned part of it. You know what he gonna do? Smoke it away.
Up in smoke, absolutely.
So,
up in smoke.
Yeah. Paul thought about it just to kind of lighten the mood. I thought about is like Texas. Beverly Hillbilly.
Lord Jesus. Let me go. Who I see? Navy Hawk, Tucson on his way to the corner. He'll be over there in a minute. What's on your heart, Willa, K, and then we're going to Rico.
Still having a few technical difficulties for those that's out here watching on the stream through all the different services. I think YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. So if y'all just be patient for a little while, it'll straighten up a little bit. But this morning it's been a little difficult this morning, but yeah, he'll be back very soon. He'll probably have to reboot for a second to get the phone line back going. But you know, this situation about eminent domain, this is once again something that's always happened. Okay, there he is now.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Rico. Finish that thought, brother.
Oh, this is something that has always been going on. You know, I met a gentleman last year, a white guy from California, that was there when they I think they did a canal or something that pretty much divided LA, and they took a lot of people's land and property, you know, through this this eminent domain, and this has happened nationwide. Once again, an example of when you think you have control, or when you think you have rights, you know, you'll get shown that you're just a small fish in this big pond. And you don't even control that pond that you swim in. And that's something, you know, really truly, when you think about it, that's something for us to think about. You know, I'm trying to think who that was said something earlier about the legacy, how, you know, understanding how important the legacy is. You know, is our legacy supposed to be for sale? You know, have we really gotten to the point to where we have made everything a commodity, and we have conformed to let our existence and survival be based on a man-made system? Have we put that much value in it and given it that much power and control to the point to where we will sell? Look, we have human trafficking as a problem. People selling people, kidnapping girls. I mean, listen, we have videos all day long of women recording men in groups trying to stalk them and kidnap them, having to get help, and you could tell that that's really what they were trying to do. You know, these are people, birds of a feather flocking together to commit this for the purpose of money. And we have to ask ourselves, you know, what is it? I mean, even though we know this money is necessary for us to survive, when do we stop prostituting ourselves? When do we stop selling our legacies? When do we stop saying, okay, this behavior is acceptable because it makes millions of dollars, so it makes sense? I mean, we got to get back in order, man. I mean, the reality of our existence compared to what we really think it is completely opposite. And once you really do worry yourself or concern yourself about what's really important and true priorities, then sooner or later you'll start discerning and understanding this system and this money and what it has done to people. Because we're talking about people that actually complained about their parents or their ancestors selling that land for cheap and then going right back and doing the same thing again.
Repeating the same thing all over again. It's crazy. It's crazy. And they we for more money now. If you look at the time, what you got today compared to what, man, you probably got less. You know what I mean? You probably end up you may have gotten less. How the money structure works. The money that you got today compared to what, man, it's so many different layers. Willow.
Right. You're absolutely right. That there are so many of this. And I don't know who it was it earlier, but when you have property and you have things of value that you want to leave to your children, your children's children, you should have something in writing.
Mm-hmm.
Something should be willed. Something should be in order where how you want to display or distribute that property is a written document.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one, first thing of all. And then I think we're going to say something about we need to stop prostituting ourselves.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We do that every day if we work. Because you work in IR, not IRS. You got the federal, you got the FICA. Let me see who else is on my paycheck that's taking part of my money that wasn't there when I was working. So every day they're taking a part of my money out, distributing it to areas and places where I might not even. So what I'm saying is that if we legally need to do, because we already know the truth, but sometimes we don't want to face the truth. You know what I'm saying? I got property right now. I'm almost finished mortgage. So I've got it distributed where if something to me, I got it written down. Something happened to him, then we got it distributed among our children. Anything else, if they want to get a Salvation Army, I really don't care. But I'm talking about something of value.
Yes.
A land, just like was that said it. But anyway, that's what's on my heart, right?
Good deal. Good deal. K with an E. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. Finding you all.
Hey, doing good. Doing good. Good to have you, sis. We're talking about the Bruce family over in California that the Bruce Beach, and they fought. It was taken away from eminent domain. It was taken away from them, and they fought. Finally got it back. Had celebrities and everybody speaking on their behalf. And they finally, California, LA County gave the beach back to the Bruce family. They sold it for $20 million right back to LA County. That I know you know about this financial thing and how much. Was that wise to do that?
They did it like that. They wanted money out of it. That's it. They wanted their money out of it, and they couldn't get their money out of it because it wasn't theirs. So they got their money out of it and gave y'all can have it. Y'all wanted it, but they got their money out of it. And now they let them have it. If they don't want it, they just wanted their money out of it. And if they had to do that money out of it, that's what they did.
But if they kept it, they get more money. If they would get more money, put some motels and high rises and stuff like that on it and make money forever. And then your grandchildren's children will make money off that property.
You gotta have money, make money. Well, if they don't have money to spend money, you gotta have money. You go out there and just start making some money. You don't invest in yourself. And so that's not what they wanted to do. They're not into the business and they're not into doing all that. And if they were thinking about the kids, then they got to give the kids an opportunity. But if they little and they ain't thinking about, hey, we could do this, we could do that, that's what they'll do. But people do that with their daily houses. Relatives pass away, and we're going to sell the house. We're going to tear it down. They're going to do everything but keep it where if a family member fall down on hard luck, they always have a place to come to. They'll just sell it.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. And I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. Opinion, I never give anybody their opinion, but my here in California, they're in California, they're in LA. How many people that they celebrity wise or people that in that they have the money to look here? This is what we're gonna do. We'll build a hotel. You will get X amount percentage wise. I need you to invest this much money. We're gonna hotel, let that hotel take care of time, and you will get a return on your investment overtime until this time is up, and then we'll go back and renegotiate whether we need to continue the different ways they get. Man, Toya with a T, talk to me.
And that goes back to the first when we was talking about difference. You know, we're different. Why are we so different? Because they different. That's a perfect example of being different. They don't have that business mind frame. They got a mind frame of what they doing and what they want to be, and they want to be rid of that. So let's get our money out of it and let them have it. They can do whatever they want to do with it, but they need to give us our money out of it. Let us get our justice first.
Wow.
And we don't care what y'all do after that.
Maybe that's the mind. I don't know. Toya with a T, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me. And Toya, your business. She's she got her papers in business. Toya, as a business that from a business perspective, was that wise?
Well, you know, that's not business. The goal is to property, right? To acquire a piece of property for lease value, technically lease in the business if you can. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to get a low property. And when people start going up as a business, you don't like that. So now when it looks at a group of individuals or families who are not business minded to do that, that is just personal about money. That's not a business move, right? The business move is kind of like swapping it out for equal value. But again, let's talk monopoly, and that's not what that equates to. That's prime property. You know what I'm saying? Prime. High cut. You can just put chairs on that guy and make a killing.
Yeah.
$15 a chair on the beach. You know what I mean? So again, I don't think wise business move, not when it comes to advising you on leaving and creating a legacy, and you know, to start a business. If you have, that's going to put you in a good position. Banks, and that was their goal. So they still could have went to the bank, got 20 million, and this move. But again, with the move they made, no, they could not have 20 million, because again, the intent flip 20 is to spend the 20. And if the goal is to spend the 20 and not create a profit, it's no longer.
It's good. Cassandra?
So once again, this is a good decision. The group came together. It wasn't one person. It was they made the decision to sell the property. That was their decision. And whether we, think good business move, it was their decision. We need to pay you is that they have a 2-year option of purchasing the property back from LA. Now, if they do wisely, and obviously they have a plan, and take the money and make the money to purchase the property back with the 20 million that they haven't lost anything. They can make additional money and keep the property. $20 million or whatever amount they decide to use it for, it's a decision that can really benefit the family in the long run. I don't know. It was 30 people that that their property was taken. 25 were white families, 5 were black families, and no one else has yet representation off of. At the big picture, they were able to do had not been done. There were 30 families that got in that move in 24 or whatever year it was. I believe it was 24. So they don't see it as a loss. They see it the way around. Historically, they've print that somebody else can follow. So, I just look at it different, and we all can
That's
have
good.
our own perspective.
That's good.
But
Absolutely.
that this wasn't a dumb. I saw the picture.
some family do ordinated vision.
Okay. Rico.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, that was a very smart move. You know, that was good business to put that clause in there. You know, that's where, you know, contracts and knowing business comes in. I mean, whether we realize it or not, you know, a lot of people do that all the time. They'll merge and then they'll have options to, you know what I'm saying, buy their options back out of that merger and, you know, after so many years. So there may be a business plan in place for them, number one, for them to even accomplish getting that land back. Goes to show you that they had some type of intelligence and smartness and a good organization behind them to be able to accomplish that. Now, if they were that intelligent, they may have that business sense to be able to turn that 20 million into 80 million, you know, because we said that land was much more valuable than that anyway. So maybe they just said, well, you know what, we could take this little money and we could see that same value within the next year and a half and buy it back when the time comes to buy it back. So now not only do we have our land back, but we done turned and made $100 million off that 20. Man, that's a genius move because that's the way the game is played. You know, so, you know, you have an agenda, objective, and a strategy to be able to combat this system, you know, because this, I mean, you know, the value, what is the value system in this, or what is it that they value? If they really fought on behalf of their legacy, but at the same time, they wanted to make sure they got the value out of it, but they didn't have really the pieces in place to get the value out of it, this was a very smart move. You know, so I guess you got to learn how to work the game and understand the ins and outs. Like I said, this is a situation where maybe we shouldn't be so worried or concerned about it that much, but enough to pay attention to it to see what the outcome is, and then we can learn from it.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Stanley, what's on your heart, brother? What do you see in this whole situation?
Well, I guess time will tell. So I just, personally, I'm just one of those people that believe once you get the land, you can develop it, and hopefully they will be able to buy it, or at least they'll do something wise with the $20 million that they got. All I can say, time will tell. Let's revisit this and see what
it's like. Exactly. See what it's like. Badger, what's on your heart?
Life is, I mean, I was looking more into it and things like that. And if they would have kept the property, and like leased it or built a hotel on it or something like that, maybe they could have earned 5 to 6 to 7 million a year. But if that's not something they want to do, and they want to sell it for a lump sum, then that's what they did.
What would you have done?
There could be other reasons too.
What would you have done?
And everything I've learned about Cali, I'd rather sell the property and leave. Especially like I'm more scared of a hurricane than I am probably any weather phenomenon out there. So I wouldn't want no beach property.
Okay. I see Paul is commenting, but I wish he was actually on the line. So he actually lives in California, so he'll be able to talk about the whole structure of. I think, as a matter of fact, I think he lives somewhere close to LA, and so I wish he was actually had an opportunity to call in, but he may be busy today. I see. Badger, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, because I was sitting here and I'm listening and stuff, and to me, this is one of those scenarios where a family makes a decision, right? Is there a lot of heritage there? Is there a legacy there? Absolutely.
Okay.
But there's a lot of family, so their decision is theirs. If they really don't want to do it, then don't do it. If they want to do it, then do it. I'm not them. And the way I would handle it could be very different than the way they would. They're in charge. They make the choices for what they feel is best for their family. And that's it.
Keep it right there. Keep it right there. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I'm just, you know how some families work. Family tendencies just want to put claims on family property. Because there's always one or two that keep family property up. The other one just take a claim of it. Trying to make an open statement without pushing somebody's attack on what we say grandparents' house or parents' house. Somebody keeps it up, and when other relatives come, they figure that's where they stay instead of getting a hotel, stuff like that. So along the way, you know what it does? It's family problems.
Exactly.
Mom and Billy, every time I come to, they fighting on who gonna stay there. If I buy $1 million home in California, I might not have a yard.
Yep.
But if I buy $1 million home in Mexico, I know what I can do. The rest of my life. Yeah, I'm thinking about myself, taking my retirement and move out of the country and double or triple my money.
I think you got like I think they're giving you like a good 5 minutes of good streaming time before they act up with you.
They don't know what they're doing today, man. It's a mess today, man. But like I said, we definitely, because it won't be like this tomorrow. I promise you that. But let me show y'all real quick. I put it out there earlier tonight. Look at that there. Where is that? Look at that there. We actually doing mugs now. That's still a mug right here. We got a couple other looking custom mouse pads, whatever you need. But look at that. Look at that. You think y'all can actually see it. KM Media Group. If y'all anybody wanna support us and get one of these mugs, send a message to, we definitely love to have you drinking out of the DKM Media Group mug every morning when you drink your coffee. Have you all drinking y'all coffee on the
and then
yes, sir.
Make sure that you add one of them mugs water.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will. Absolutely. And so, yeah, and I want to get one of the DKM Media Group mugs. They're beautiful. Everybody loves them. And when you drink coffee or tea or whatever you're drinking in the morning, I say whatever you're drinking in the morning, drink it out of your DKM Group mug. Good deal. Let me see. Stanley, what's on your heart, brother, before we get out of here?
Well, like I'm saying, man, there's a lot going on. I like that mug idea that you just talking about.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna support you on that.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna change it. I just appreciate the calls, man. I can't get on every morning, but I appreciate the subject matter, and I appreciate you doing what you do. You got a great group of people here. This is going to be one of my new commitments is to try to get on this call with y'all and meet most of y'all in person.
Yes, sir.
Because I think we could do a lot of great things.
Yep.
You're flying in a minute.
Okay.
I just appreciate the fellowship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To God be the glory, brother. To God be the glory. Well, though, I appreciate your input that you bring to the conversation as well. Rico, what's the day at 3 o'clock, brother, before these people kick me out again?
If you missed today's show and would like to see the entire rebroadcast, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com. You can say the word if you can get the stream in. You can say that word if you get the stream in. It'll froze you up. It don't even want you to say the word.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see I'm froze again, man. I'm saying we can't that, man. We can't have this thing doing that because we operate in a level of quality, and this is not it today. So I want to apologize. The system is doing something.
Let me give people something to think about since we brought up that topic about what's going on with that family. Because if I ain't mistaken, I think they said it was like maybe it was 30 people or something like that. If it was 30 different family members, that's less than $1 million a piece. But you know, there could be a situation. Like I said, this is something that, you know, we really on the outside can only scratch the surface on this, and it's something that we should have to pay attention to learn from, rather than to try to, you know, dictate or pick apart, because there's so many different ways that this can go. We can't predict this. You know, time will only be able to tell what can happen. But I can say this one logical thing, that in 2 years' time, LA may be able to make that property worth so much that they can't afford to buy it back. So I wonder if they would have stipulations in place that would be a set amount that they could buy it back for, and that they couldn't go over a certain amount, because some of those people probably wouldn't have their piece of the money to come back to unless they're investing as a group to turn it and be able to buy it back. So like I said, it's too many different scenarios that can be going on with their business for us to be worried or concerned with it that much.
And Andrew did say that she found some documentation in what they say that in 2 years they could buy back just at $20 million. So the same, the 20 million that they were giving, they could go back with that same 20 million. Just put that 20 million in the bank for a couple of years and let it grow interest, and you live off some of the interest, and then take back. You know, there's so many different levels on this thing, man. But no, I wouldn't have sold it. But you know, everybody deal with situations differently. Because Andrew, am I correct when I say that $20 million, right, is what they back to get the property back?
Yeah, they would have $1 million that they are purchasing it with, and if they're smarter than we're giving them credit, they're going to take their plan. They're going to take that money, supply it some, and then buy I believe that they made sure that they got that 2 year, and they don't have a plan. I can't believe that. But please remember that there were 34 white families, 25 black. They used the eminent law and took their property. This is the only family that was able to get anything off of that property domain ruling. So that is a major historical accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And I don't want us to, don't lose that in the translation.
And that could sound just a great point for them to do that and be the only family to do that of all the ones that you said, like 35 different families. There's some smarts in there somewhere. There's some smarts in there somewhere for them to do that.
It's smart. It's a move. That they're the only ones out of 30 families to go to court any money for their family. No, we're not any money. In payment for what them eminent domain decisions.
Absolutely. Wow.
I'm with Cassandra.
That's
on
good.
that.
That's good.
I'm with Cassandra on that. We got to remember, man, Those brothers and sisters out there in California, they're not the same old country bumpkins that we think of back here that want the smaller things in life. I mean, they're on a different level of thinking and mindset out there in California, and especially when they come from a legacy of people that migrated from the South and went out to California in the 20s and 30s and 40s. They still out there. Those are some very intelligent and excellent people, so yeah, what we're thinking about, to be honest with you, they're levels ahead of us. I mean, I meet black people out there all the time that speak 5 or 6 different languages on average.
Wow. Well, we are about to get out of here. Anybody have a lot before we get out of here? Anybody got anything they want to say before we get out of here? Okay.
Raheem!
Well, are you ready? You ready?
Raheem,
yes.
I am waiting. I'm ready, Raheem. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go to receive the word.
Well,
let's go, Raheem.
Well, I ain't got nothing else to say, but let's go.
Let's go. Raheem, let's go to the throne of grace this morning. Let's go with confidence and with expectation. Father, allowing us to assemble ourselves in your Son Jesus' name. Father, we thank you, Lord, for always giving us mercy and grace, Lord, even when we don't deserve it. We thank you for allowing us to get up, to see, giving us the opportunity to change our lives, Lord. But Father, we're petitioning to you. We're petitioning to you and guide us. Show us your line us up with yours. For us to make the right decisions in our soul, Lord. Father, counsel our enemy things that he got planned for anyone on this line, Lord. Father, I'm asking you to help us in a mighty way. Father, we need you. We honor you, we glorify you, and we praise you, oh Lord, because we know it's you and the power of God that works through us, oh Lord. We thank you for the Holy Spirit that leads us, Lord. We thank you for the Holy Spirit that heals us, oh Lord. Father, we thank you. We give you the honor. Father, we glory and the praise in Jesus' name. Amen. And amen. We thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining this morning. Then I want to thank you for allowing DK and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now you're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because it could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be there. Love you and have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light of you from the Morning Glow. Wicked and cruel world that we live in. So show somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Great day. Take care of each other. Please, please, please be blessed. Show somebody some love and have a great one.